Hey, everybody, welcome back to Couch Critics. It is the week of Valentine's Day. It is that time of year where Hollywood insists love fixes everything, and we're here to prove that wrong. No, I am your co host, Josh,
You're disputing
alongside, as
love.
always.
It's me, it's Dave, my man. How's it going? It's Valentine's, as you said, not Christmas at all. It is not just right after Christmas, not even close.
Not even close. Christmas was not 48 hours ago, it was much longer.
But I did very recently in February happen to have watched a lot of Christmas movies. So, how's everything going? How are you doing, man?
Things are good. Been relaxing. I'm about halfway through my winter break from the job at the school.
In
Getting
February?
ready to
Just kidding. In
Huh?
February?
In February. I'm about a week. I take 2 weeks off in February. You don't worry about it.
Well, last week I was a little sick, so I don't know
Yeah.
if we scrapped that whole show or not. I don't know. I was a little
No,
under the weather. I'm
it
still a
made it
tiny
through.
bit.
Yeah.
I did give it to Mel, and so she
Oh.
has been sick.
Mel the cook
harder
on
than I
Alice,
was.
Vic Tayback. You got Vic
Yeah.
Tayback
You
sick.
thought he was dead. He's not.
I
He's
did.
still
I thought
alive.
Vic. Shout out to Alice, the one of the few successful shows based on a movie.
Is it based on Alice doesn't live here anymore?
Huh? Yeah.
Mm.
It's the
I
continuing
don't know if I knew
story
that
of
because
Alice.
it seems like Alice doesn't live here anymore is a pretty hard subject. It's a pretty
Not a sitcom. Not a sitcom.
no.
But it
Funny.
became one.
Schindler's List funny. Sophie's
Right.
Choice funny, but not funny conventionally funny. You
Not
know?
funny, ha. No, so but really all I've been doing, I've been watching a lot of movies. You mentioned
Yeah.
Christmas. Did watch a handful of Christmas movies in preparation for Valentine's Day, of course, because that's what
Of
one
course.
does.
Yeah.
But no,
We're like Target. We're always thinking to the next holiday, and
always on to the
we
next
think
holiday.
backwards. Yeah.
We just go
Or the
the other way.
last one.
The last holiday. No, the first movie, I just want to get started. We normally you ask, so what have you been watching? But I'm just going to jump right in because
Hey, what have you been watching, my man?
because you got to see it in the theater. I was lazy and did not make it, so I finally sat down and watched One Battle After Another. And
Such a
holy
good
crap.
movie. Yeah.
So I have my initial thoughts were the trailers did nothing to help this movie.
Nothing.
They told me nothing other than I was going to see Leonardo DiCaprio running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, what's like, but then all of a sudden when you start watching the movie, it all makes sense why he's doing that. So I don't think that the trailer did it any favors. And I'm a little bit bummed. This is the most expensive Paul Thomas Anderson movie ever. $120 million.
Yeah.
Which
means some reports
say
170, but I'm with you. It's still expensive as hell.
But 170 would probably be what it is once you add publicizing into there. But all reports that I read said that it needed to make $300 million at the box office to be a break-even point, and it barely it broke 200. So it's going to need to do it's going to need to make some serious money on with
it's
HBO
like Babylon.
Max.
These directors, you and I talk about these films that are so incredible and nobody's watching them. They're not getting, but they're incredible. They're using the money appropriately.
Yes.
The VistaVision that he's using for all that stuff, which is not a cheaper process, is incredible in this movie with some of those.
It does make me wonder though, like, did Leonardo DiCaprio need to make $25 million?
No. Yeah.
That's like, if anybody's worth it as far as these inflated huge numbers.
Incredible in the movie. Everybody is
100%. But
so it's not that.
I love the idea, and Forrest Gump is really where this kind of jumped off from, is the actor taking the back end, taking points. Do you stand to make
if the
less
movie
money?
makes money? Yeah, if the movie makes money,
in this case, he would not have made as much money. But if the movie took off, he could have made so much more money. So is he
going to get an award?
That's
because
and who
we know
knows?
this movie's the Golden Globes.
Set up for it,
Again,
yes.
when let's say when this comes out, Golden Globes will have already happened. This show, but I'm assuming a handful. It's up for like 11, I think, nominations,
Something like
and
that. It's
it'll
tied for the
probably win.
most.
It'll win half. It'll win the technical
Mhm.
stuff, director
Yeah.
probably, screenplay
Yeah.
probably. I don't think Leo
Mhm.
will win. Um,
No,
I'm still awestruck at the fact that Regina Hall,
Regina Hall,
who
how does she not?
is how is she not nominated? Because she is.
She was
This is the best performance. She when I think of that
yeah.
movie, her small bits are the ones I think about. They're
Well, because you
amazing.
so yeah, the minute like there was something striking about Regina Hall the very first time you see her, and it's just she makes a face and it
Yep.
sells the whole scene when you first meet
Yep.
her. But she's the 4th listed star in this movie. The 3 stars above her, all Academy Award winners.
Yeah.
Leo,
Yeah.
Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro. And she absolutely carries every minute she's on screen.
Sean Penn
Amazing.
will, I think, win. I think he'll win.
He does that
He'll pull a handful of awards off of this movie.
he does that thing that we love where he goes ugly. Not that he's
Yeah,
the prettiest human in the world, but he does
he's a
go full ugly
his
in
character
this.
is a horrible,
His
horrible person
ugly human,
in
yes.
every capacity. But
All
the movie is, let me put it this way, is 2 hours and 45 minutes, which just like
yeah,
Babylon freaks people out.
it
Does it
does.
feel
It's
like 2 hours and
intimidating.
45 minutes? Does it feel that long? Like
No, it
it
absolutely
moves
doesn't. So,
so
it
quickly.
no, when it's weird because
I wanted it to slow down at different
there are
points.
moments in this movie that are slow, but it's just because, like, there's doing so much to building the character. It slows down so we know who Benicio del Toro is,
Yeah.
Sensei. Like,
Yeah.
it slows down, but it never feels like we're stopping. We're like, "Okay, maybe I catch my breath here. Oh, just kidding, now it's time to run." And it is
Right.
very frenetic, and some of the shots when not giving anything away, there's
That
sort of a chase at the end down that long rolling
it's
hill.
sort of a chase scene, sort of.
It's
It's not.
sorta yes.
Yeah,
It's a
in a way,
chase scene and
yeah,
that like, the camera's on the front of the car and he's just racing down the road. Like,
right.
that is
And
some
there are
amazing
multiple cars
footage.
involved in trying to
Yeah.
catch each other. They just might be many, many miles apart from each
They're
other,
just
which is
not on top
incredible.
of each other. It's not
But
Death
that
Race
is
2000.
it's a brilliant bit of filmmaking, and so much of it, like PT, is amazing at like a lot of the Benicio del Toro stuff was expanded because of Benicio del Toro, right? He wanted to act like his whole Harriet Tubman thing. It's a major plot point for his character, which it was just an idea he talked to PT about, and they wrote it in, which is showing an open-minded director.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro brought in most of his own family to do a lot
Collaborative,
of those
yeah,
scenes.
a
But
collaborative director for sure. And the one thing that this movie did though is it really made me like Inherent Vice a little bit less. And
yeah,
the reason why is they're both Thomas Pynchon novels. They're both based on Thomas. This is so freaking good. And they
yeah,
say Thomas Pynchon's novels are kind of unfilmable. Well, no, they're not. He can do
yeah,
it. Did he
yeah,
not have this? It makes me wonder, did the studio hold him back on Inherent
maybe.
Vice? Is that why
Or
that one didn't?
I think he tried
I
to
don't
stay really pure to
closer
the
to the
material. And
yeah,
in this one, he's already come out and said he took three different story ideas he
yeah,
had
mhm,
and kind of threw them together. One of them being a
yeah,
Pynchon story,
yeah. So
which
this one, because it's inspired. Yes, this one becomes inspired by Vineland. So it takes the surreal tone and a basic idea of like the corrupt military officer or whatever,
yeah,
and weaves in these other
and the
stories.
Christmas Adventure Club.
Yeah. Wow. This is not a
Yeah,
Christmas movie, but the Christmas Adventure Club, Saint Nicholas. Saint
it's
Oof.
I think I told you I fortunately did see it in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't go to the
Don't
movies
go a
enough,
lot.
and
Yeah.
that's a shame because I'm a huge film fan. But
Yes.
I did want to see this on the big screen. I wish I had seen it in IMAX. I didn't. I saw it in a
Yeah.
large format, 70 mil, which at least there's that because it's amazing to see it
It
that way.
is. I watch it in 75-inch.
That's good.
That's how big the
I
TV
recently
is.
watched it. I have a large TV also, and I watched it, and it is still very good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. it
No,
is better on the larger, but it
yeah,
is not necessary. But the sound, I don't care who you are, you're never going to replicate the crazy stereo
no,
sound you can get out of a real high
yeah,
end theater.
yeah,
And some of those last scenes, by the way, shook the room. Like it
that's
gave me
yeah.
chills with some of the noises.
So the one thing that I hope, because the it won't be 70 millimeter because that's not at the theater closest to me. That one's all the way in 40 minutes away. But the theater closest to me, around the time that when the Best Picture nominees are all announced, which
They
this
put
one
them
will
out.
get, they'll do like every Tuesday they'll have a different showing for the Best
It's
Picture nominees.
it's
So I'll
it's
try to.
it's absolutely worth it for the. I mean, you could have a great audio system, but you're never going to replicate that. The funny thing when you bring up DiCaprio's $25 million, which is not helping their
Right.
overages on their costs like that. But
Yeah.
like he was originally going to be Dirk Diggler, right? Like PT
Right. That's
wanted
who
Leonardo
PT
DiCaprio, and
wanted. Yeah.
and DiCaprio turned it down, and then has pretty much said everywhere that he regrets not taking
That
that
was yeah.
role. So he really wanted to work with PT, et cetera, et
PT,
cetera.
yeah.
But then it seems like, why is he still coming in with
The
this? I guess because he can, and why wouldn't
right,
you? Like
and
if he can, why wouldn't you?
and obviously we weren't in the negotiations, but PT could have
I
come in and
was.
say, "This is
You
what
weren't
we're paying."
there.
You were there?
I thought you were there.
You I
Oh
wasn't. I didn't
shoot!
make it. I was busy
I
that day.
zoomed
No,
in. I
PT could
zoomed
have
in.
he could have walked in with the contract saying, "It's $25 million. Do you want it? It's yours."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? Um,
Because the movie
but
wouldn't have been the same without Leonardo DiCaprio so strong, and those two unknown actresses, Chase
yeah.
Infinity, right?
Yeah, Chase Infinity and
Tayana and
Tiana Taylor.
yeah, God, they're
Those
so.
2 are so good. Yeah.
It's an incredible movie. It is so, and it is one of those movies I already know because it's been playing on HBO recently, and if it's on and I turn to it, I'm gonna end up
You
watching the
sit
whole thing.
yeah,
It's that becomes that movie, and again,
sure.
2 hours of, just like Babylon. People are
Mhm.
afraid of the length. People make fun of the length,
And
but I think it's
just
necessary.
like Babylon, before you know it, you're over an hour in. Like, it's a third of the way done, and you don't even realize it.
Right.
It goes
So much. It
'cause
moves so fast.
it's very much it's got the 3-act structure. That first act is all about getting to know who these characters were in whatever it was 20 years ago or 15 years
Yep.
ago, right? Who these
Yep.
characters were 15, 16 years ago. And then all of a sudden the life event happens and they have to go into hiding. And then the next third is setting up who's after them, what's going on with them. And then that
What
last
a
third is the chase. Like
what a
so
topic
well.
too, without giving a lot away, like postpartum depression. Ooh, gut
Yeah.
punch, man. Anyways,
Right. Yeah.
great movie. Everybody should see it.
Definitely a must watch. I'd
Watch
have
it
to
back to back with
really
Babylon. If you have
we
6
can
hours, and just
just
watch
give
that
away a
and
whole
Babylon. They're
day.
both amazing.
Absolutely. But with this movie, I'd have to really sit down and look at everything, but it's a top 3 Paul Thomas Anderson for sure.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
don't know 1, 2, 3 right off the top of my but it's a top 3 for
It's in there.
sure.
It's one of the
Yeah.
better movies by
Yeah.
far it's one of the better movies I've seen in a couple of years to me.
It is definitely like so there's been a few times I've sat down in the theater and I've realized I've known that that was the best movie I watched this year. Or
Yeah.
I've watched a movie, that's the best. This one, Black Swan was that way. Once
Yeah.
Upon a Time in Hollywood was that way. There are certain movies that I walk out and I go, "Yeah, I'm not seeing a better movie."
Mannequin 2 on the Move. I remember watching that
Mannequin
and
2
saying
on the Move,
this
that
is the best movie of 1987.
still hasn't
Yeah.
been reached yet. Mannequin 2 on the
Nah, that's
Move
the
is a
best
top
movie of the last 45 years. So
easily.
how are you ever going to eclipse that wonderful
Easily.
piece of garbage? Um,
Uh,
well, by the way, there are a couple of trailers out. Spielberg's had a movie coming out, Disclosure Day. Have you seen the trailer for
yeah, I
this?
haven't watched the trailer, but I looked at the little synopsis and him back to Aliens, I think it's a great
Yeah.
mix. He does it well.
Watch the trailer. There's 2
Yeah,
different trailers out. Let me put it this
yeah.
way. And one of the trailers, maybe it might actually just be the teaser, I guess. But it's first of all, it's aliens or whatever. There's this really creepy sound effect that goes along with it, which creeps Mel out to watch. But anyways, I'll hold back on all that. But there's another trailer which shows a very Independence Day-y kind of big
Mm,
ships and explosions and
sure,
fights and gunfights, all that
which
stuff.
he
And as
does.
Mel and I watched the second one, we were like, if this wasn't Steven Spielberg, this movie would not look very good. But
Right,
I know it's going to be good because of
because
that.
of
But that
who it is.
first, the teaser is, anyways, it's the one that would be the one to watch. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that
epics
one
coming out, which you think when these giant movies like One Battle After Another are so costly, Spielberg is gonna turn a profit. He just always does. Whatever
he
he's
just
doing, yeah. But like, what's his name? Nolan doing the Odyssey is also coming out.
how that one
I don't know, man.
it is
I don't
he
know.
all and he has some diehards out there. The people that like the us from the new generation, the young versions of us, Nolan is their guy. He's their what Tarantino is to us, that's what Nolan is. So he's got his diehards, but
Are
is it
they
gonna
gonna
be
care about
enough?
about true to form Greek
Greek
mythology?
mythology and
Like, this
huge
isn't "Oh
epic
Brother, Where Art Thou," where they're taking it
where
the spirit
yes,
of it or the general
yeah,
concept, or as the
right.
Coen brothers beautifully said for "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," they'd never read the Odyssey, but they gleaned everything they could from the
The
lexicon of
idea, yeah,
conversation people around them, and they just put that
yeah,
into the movie.
right.
But this one seemed very true to form, like a very faithful adaptation. Yeah, I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems,
Um,
I mean, I want it to be
though,
good.
I have heard some mixed result. People aren't loving what the trailer looks like for it. Like
Yeah.
the fans aren't they're not like, yeah, this is the one. This is how he's following up Oppenheimer. Like it's not
This is what you and I do, and we both loved Christopher Nolan, and
yeah,
I
oh
love
yeah,
Greek mythology, but we're
absolutely.
both discussing it, saying I don't think this is going to work. So obviously, the trailer is a problem
Is
because
not yeah,
if
it's
you and I aren't finding the nugget in it, and we're
right.
worried about how it's going to perform, it's a
That
bad sign.
it's one of those things and well, when I just mentioned it with Thomas Pynchon. They say it's his stuff is unfilmable. Odyssey, the Iliad, that the Homer's stuff is very difficult to film because it is so big, so vast, so
Yeah,
broad. Like
yeah.
you like 10 pages
Unless
is
it's
a
a
full
cartoon,
movie, unless it's a
yeah,
cartoon
like
because you
Avatar,
have
like a
full control
cartoon.
of everything.
Yeah,
But
that's what Avatar is, the cartoon.
yeah,
That's how you
Avatar is a
achieve that.
cartoon. Oh, and Avatar. By this time, Avatar is the highest grossing movie ever. I don't know. I
It
hope it's not
probably
doing great.
is.
I hope it's
Yeah,
not
it
doing
I want it to do really well because it helps the industry we love.
yes,
But I
but
don't
I
want it to
al
do well because then that's all they're gonna make are
James
more
Cameron said
camp
if
giant
the
green
movie
screen.
fails he's done and he'll retire, he's ready. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
"Okay, do it.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
prove it." No, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways,
um,
another
the other
movie
by the
that
way,
we oh, yes, by the
I was gonna
way
say I the only other trailer I watched that I was gonna ask you about was Luc Besson is doing Dracula. Have you seen the
really?
trailer for this? Yeah.
No.
It
I didn't even know Luke was making a movie. Is
same.
Gary
Exactly the
Oldman in it?
same. No. He's not. But Keanu Reeves is, and I think
But
that's strange.
Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder.
He's got a really bad English accent.
I love it.
But anyways, I just thought that's a little bit more in your wheelhouse,
It
and
is
obviously
more in my
both of us,
wheelhouse.
but I'm a huge Luc
Yeah, I
Besson
haven't,
fan.
holy cow. So I just wanted to look as of 10 day it's been out for 10 days. Avatar: Fire and Ash. It's at $566 million.
Pardon my language. One Battle After Another makes a third of that and is struggling. Babylon makes a quarter of that and is
Yeah,
both far
of flop.
superior.
Yeah. And
Anyways, I digress.
so and I hate to and just to add insult to injury, this is also 3 hours and 17 minutes long. So it's a
Yeah,
full half an hour longer,
of a cartoon,
and it's just a cartoon.
man.
It's
Yeah.
just
And
a
I don't mean a
cartoon.
good cartoon, not like some great Japanese anime. It's not like watching Perfect Blue or
Perfect
Akira.
Blue
You know,
yeah, and those are tough movies to watch, but they're good. Alright,
they're
anyways,
good.
let's another movie I wanna know what you thought of, Wake Up Dead Man, the new Knives Out
But yeah, we
movie,
both watched Knives
because
Out,
we both
right?
watched it. Yeah.
Um, I liked it a lot more than not a lot, but I liked it more than the second one for sure.
Absolutely. Correct.
It's not as
Same.
good as not as good as the first one,
The
but
first one
I think
just was yeah.
it's got the Die Hard syndrome where 1 and
Yeah.
3 are better than
Then
2,
yeah.
but 2 is still good. It
2 is
has some
good.
merit.
Yeah. This one though did something like it did something that I think is hard to do. It made it made the church look good and bad. Like, it made it
Yeah.
look bad
Yeah.
without blaming the church.
Yep.
Like, so he
Yep.
really did a very good job of creating this story and painting the villain as the bad guy, not the belief, not the
Yeah,
church.
without giving a bunch of stuff away, but yeah. It's
Right.
like, I always said about the show Righteous Gemstones,
Yep, same
which
thing.
it was important to them to not slag on and
Mhm.
belittle the church, the faith, the followers, but just the opulence that surrounds all those things.
Yes.
And they did it's a fine line,
Oh,
but they
yeah.
did an insanely good job. This is
Right.
also not throwing the devout or the faithful
Right.
or the people who have all that
No,
stuff inside of them and,
it's about
you know,
it's about a bad seed,
it's
not
not yucking their yum for liking
right.
Christ
But
or
again,
whatever, you know?
this movie, Daniel Craig is great. The young kid who plays like the I guess he's technically the main character who played Father Duplessis, Josh
Yep,
O'Connor. He was really
yep,
good. I liked him.
he's really good.
Um,
He's in a couple
yeah,
other things right now. He's
yeah,
I think a
he's hitting his stride
was
right now.
he's hitting his stride. He hosted SNL recently, did a
Yeah,
fine job.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, and he's in another movie too that I'm trying to think of what it is. But
He was
anyways,
in
he's kind of out
Challengers that
there.
I haven't watched yet, but I like Luca Guadagnino, so
That
I need to watch
that makes
that.
sense where that's where he would have come from.
Um,
Um,
but Glenn, like this, the cast: Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila
yeah,
Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, like Thomas Hayden Church in a smallish role, but really good.
good
Um,
role.
the and
More like
Mila
Lowell
Kunis doesn't
from
play
Wings.
Lowell from Wings. Mila Kunis doesn't play her normal kind of character
No,
here. She's a straight-laced police officer, like a local sheriff, town sheriff or whatever, and she does a decent job. Um,
it's
but
a good murder
yeah,
mystery. It's a
it's
pretty
it's a
decent one.
well done murder mystery. I love the way that it's all set up.
Yep.
It does a very much like the Agatha Christie type of thing, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was a really good movie. Um, I wish, and I'll wish this forever. I wish that Netflix did a better job of releasing their movies in theaters
Yeah.
instead of their limited release, because this is the type of movie that would have been a lot of fun to watch with a group on a big screen,
Well,
but
since Netflix didn't get Warner Brothers, as we both know by the time this show airs,
right.
because it's all gonna be owned by one corporation by an Ellison, maybe they would have it had that merger gone through.
Yeah,
I don't know.
who
I'm
knows?
hoping we'll
I
see what happens.
Who knows what's
I don't
gonna
know
end
what
up happening with Warner. I haven't heard any new updates lately, but
I watched a
anyways,
ton of other stuff, by the way. I
yeah,
do want to ask you
let's
a
talk about other
question.
things. Yes.
Randomly, I watched the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And I've seen the movie. It's my least favorite of the first three, of course, but
Okay.
in my opinion. But
Yeah.
um, I never realized Dan Aykroyd is in the beginning of that
Yeah.
movie. It
I
is the
was able to
very first
secure you
time.
transport on a
Yeah,
on a plane
I've
flight
seen the
full of
movie
live poultry.
since like it came out. I saw it in the theater, and I've seen it a bunch of times. I just now noticed Dan Aykroyd, which is
Dan Aykroyd.
insane. Maybe I'm
Did you know what's the
distracted
name of
every
the
time.
club? The club that
Mm-mm.
they're in? It's Club Obi-Wan.
Is it? I did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah,
See, I
Dan
told you I'm very
Aykroyd.
dense. I'm not very observant to stuff.
So,
But
what other things have we been watching?
I watched a bunch of other stuff. To put a short list together, there's a 1945 noir movie called Detour. It's really short.
Mhm.
It's about a guy who picks up a hitchhiker, and then the hitchhiker who's got a troubled past. But anyways, the guy who picks up this hitchhiker dies. Just I don't I don't know what the reasoning is. Just dies in the car. So the hitchhiker is worried he's going to get blamed for it, so he pretends to be him. Um, It's good. It's a good little noir piece. It's fun to watch. It's short because those like pre-code and noir, they're usually like an hour and 16 minutes or an hour and 10
They're
minutes. This
real
is one of
quick.
those. Yeah, good. It has a little Lady in the Lake feel.
Alright.
But anyways, I watched a Boris Karloff movie called Isle of the Dead. That was something we're talking about.
Seen that.
Death Set, which is my wife and I, Mel and I love Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy
Mhm.
stuff.
I
It's one of
I
their later
almost
ones.
watched it because I saw it on
It's
that
good.
it was playing on
It's
TCM, and
charming.
I
It
didn't
is.
watch it, but I saw it there.
It's charming, and it is a rom-com. But I watched a tremendous amount of Christmas stuff because it's February, and that's what you do.
Because it's February, and
Um,
that's what we do.
some of them, and I'll just go with the silent. There's a 2-hour compilation of short silent films, mostly like home video or very, very early. Like some of these go back to 1897. 1901 is a compilation of a
Yeah,
bunch of them, like there's 8 or
yeah,
10 of these. It's called Christmas Past. Somebody put them all together. Some of them are hard to watch. There's
sure.
a couple where like kids are chasing each other with real guns, doing a
Jeez.
play around the Christmas tree for their family, and they have real sharp swords and stuff, and like little kids, like 6 and 7-year-old kids.
I
That's
like
kind of stuff is weird and fun to watch. But one of the notable things is that D.W. Griffith did one of these shorts, and I think it's 1916. I'm trying to see what my date says.
Does it have the KKK
It's
in it?
no, no, I'm sorry, it must be 1914 because this is before,
Pre.
this was where he came up with some ideas for what he would use to make,
Yeah.
anyways, his other movies. But in that movie, is a very young Max Sennett, which is, as an actor. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 1909. His is called A Trap for Santa. It's one of his earliest things, D.W. Griffith, and godfather of all film,
Right.
racist godfather of all film, but still. But
Okay.
it's got a young Max Sennett. Now, Max Sennett created a lot of those silent comedy studios, as we
Mhm.
both
Yeah.
know. If anybody saw Chaplin, Dan Aykroyd is playing a Max Sennett. But anyways, in that role, but he's just a surly old bartender because he was trying to be an actor at the time. But anyways, I do have a Christmas movie that I'm going to start watching every year. Now,
Okay.
I'll start this by saying I watched It's a Wonderful Life also,
Mhm.
and I have really not sat down and watched it in 20 years or more since I
We
had a
watch it
deeper
every year.
appreciation for film. And you should. It's fantastic. It's a little long, but it's really good. I cry. It's got a great cast. Jimmy Stewart is, as I have such a deeper knowledge of classic film and actors, his performance is so honest, which is
Mhm.
amazing and like pure. And anyways, it's very good. But so I would understand why somebody would watch that. But there's another. I'm a huge Barbara Stanwyck fan. I watched Christmas in Connecticut.
I
Have you
still
ever
haven't
seen that?
watched it. Haven't watched it, huh?
It's very funny.
Yeah?
It's cute, it's sweet, it's a very good movie, and that I think is gonna be what will be an annual watch, for us. Uh, so anyways,
So you mentioned, that the original, of course, with Barbara Stanwyck, but did you know Christmas in Connecticut is from 1992 is the first and only film directed by one Arnold Schwarzenegger?
no, that's not true. You tell me
100%.
Gar you tell me
100%
Garrett
true.
Graham's in it too, and it covers everything. Schwarzenegger, Garrett
Right?
Graham.
Now, it stars Diane Cannon, Chris Christopherson, and Tony Curtis.
Yeah, okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger directed it for TNT, made for TV thing.
Made for Schwarzenegger. I never knew he
Schwarzenegger.
wanted to be behind the camera.
Apparently, he
I'm
didn't want to
picturing
very
him
bad.
next to the camera operator in the 90s when he was still as
Yeah,
bulky as he was at the
as big
time,
as he could be, yeah.
like, bumping into him with his large muscles, all those
My
kinda things, like,
the
I think that would
muscles.
be he keeps bumping into the jib boom the whole
Mhm.
time.
Right?
But anyways,
Uh,
that's funny. It's a great movie, you should definitely watch it.
I
And
watched
I do have another question I do have another question, which is, the second viewing of A Christmas Story Christmas. Have you seen it?
I still haven't watched that either. I
So,
watch Christmas
um
Story every year, but I did not watch
it's funny,
Valkyrie Return.
because they do 24 hours of Christmas Story, right?
Yeah.
And they this year, I think, ended it at the 8 o'clock. when it's supposed to end with the new one, with the Christmas Story Christmas. I will say a couple of things about it.
Mhm.
One, without giving anything away, Ralphie grown up. It's in the night set in the 1970s, so technically it's a
Yeah.
period piece because the
Right.
timeline had to have been
Yes,
if
because
it's,
it's
and he
30 years
went with
later
that.
or whatever.
And uh, I went to Oregon because my dad had died. This was 2 years ago when it came out, and my dad had passed away like a couple of weeks before, and I was up there with my mom and my sister, who also passed away, and my brother-in-law and my wife and all those things, and we're sitting around watching
Shout out to
movies. We're
Matt,
watching a
even
movie.
though you don't probably
Shout out
listen,
to,
but if you're out there, we
I
love you,
know,
Matt.
Matt, Valerie, how come nobody listens to us? My family hates us. But anyways, and so we sat down to watch a movie, like, let's watch a lighthearted, we're all kind of glum.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, the movie opens with the dad that dying.
Darren
And the
McGavin's
whole
character
the whole
having
impetus for the movie is the loss of their father
oh,
and how it affects
jeez.
Christmas.
That'll wreck
So,
you.
and it's crazy how I thought I was making some romp. But I
Yeah.
do have to say, the
That's
first
harsh.
time I liked it,
Uh-huh.
it might have felt a little more awkward because it was a very fresh loss to my
Yes.
family and
Yeah,
I,
brand new.
and
Yeah.
very relevant, like crazy relevant. Like, how does that even happen? But I watched it for the second time and I like it. Like it the
Yeah.
second time through, I think it is one of the best homage pieces to
Yeah.
original material like that.
Yeah.
Rehashing whatever you want to do. I highly recommend it for Christmas. If you know, but you don't even have to watch the original because you know it all.
Right.
And they do enough to honor those things that everybody knows from the first one, but still creating some new material. I don't know. It's very good, and it's better the second time through. That might be just a personal thing, but anyways, I definitely think
And
it's something everybody.
Scott Farkus is a good guy in this one?
He is. Oh,
I
you
know.
spoiled it. How'd you know that?
Because I saw a brief little clip of an interview with, the actor who plays Fark.
You're not supposed to know that,
Oh, you're
everybody.
not? Oh, well, he
No.
spoiled it on a radio interview or
Okay.
internet radio,
Doesn't matter.
an internet re inter
News radio.
news. Great show.
A couple. I by the way, I watched a couple of things, but the only thing Christmassy, by the way, was I watched Candy Cane Lane, which is Eddie Murphy.
Okay. I was like, Candy
I'm
Cane Lane,
trying to
that
think of the
sounds
cast
very
of people.
Hallmarky. Sounds
No, it's
Hallmark.
Eddie Murphy, family movie where he is trying to outdo his neighbors, or his street goes all out for Christmas
Yeah.
decorations. You
Uh-huh.
probably remember the trailers for
I
it,
know the I and
but
I it's yeah.
and the whole neighborhood goes all out for this. And he hand carves all of his stuff, so his is kind of plain Jane, but still a lot of work goes into it. And
Sure.
the rest of the neighborhood's all blow up dolls and all these things, whatever. But it's heavy family friendly material.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not the Eddie
That's hard.
Murphy that I want him to be, but
Right.
it's the Eddie Murphy
Raw,
like Nutty
delirious Eddie
Professor.
Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah,
How many
but
characters
I
does he
watched
play?
the entire thing. Just one.
Just the
Just one.
one?
No multiple characters. Because
Alright.
he's a straight laced dad who
Okay.
somehow signs a deal with like basically the devil to put the
Um,
greatest decorations up to win the contest for the street. Yeah, it doesn't
okay.
matter.
Anyway.
It's a lot of green screen. I watched the whole thing. Like
It it
I
kept
don't know
you
if I'll
sat
do it
and
again next year.
right?
Well, it's partially it's making fun of it, but you know, um, it is what it is. What else have you been watching? I only
So,
got a couple
I
other things.
actually I have I also watched a lot of Christmas in February,
Yeah.
but, I watched 4 movies that were new to me. 3 of them were actually ranging from good to really good, and they were all
Uh,
first time watches. So, you remember in the '90s, Joseph Gordon-Levitt did that movie, Angels in the Outfield. Well,
okay.
I did not know that it was a remake
Mm,
from 1951 starring Janet Leigh,
mm.
Keenan Wynn. I watched that movie. And it's
Was it
actually
good? I'm
yeah,
assuming.
it is. No, it's very much that, post-war
What's the concept?
optimism. The the
I don't think I've
Pittsburgh Pi
seen either
uh,
one.
that's right, the Pittsburgh in this case, the team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. The, they're the worst team in baseball, they have the worst record in baseball, and they get some divine intervention where, angels start, coming in from the sides to help, his players do better. It's it's that whole it's like slapsticky family comedy, but it's that 1951, so it's that 4-ish years
Yeah.
post-war, so it's very the optimism is at its high, and Hollywood is all
America's great.
sentimentality, and things gonna be awesome.
We were superior. Americans
Mhm,
were all amazing. Look what we
and
did.
I often forget just how good an actress Janet Leigh was
Yeah.
before
Screaming.
Hitchcock ruined her in Psycho.
Yeah.
Right, like, she was great. It's actually a fun
Yeah.
movie. It is so the '94 remake with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Christopher Lloyd, and Tony Danza is very
Tony
overly
Danza.
slapsticky, like, boing
Okay.
sound effect, like, cheesy for kids. This
Right.
one is much more on the sweet side. Much better movie. But
They
then
made
I
a lot of
watched
baseball movies for kids in the '90s, by the way. Do
there
you
were a
remember
lot.
Rookie of the
Rookie of the
Year?
Year.
Isn't that the one where the kid got his arm,
Yeah,
and a
that
cast,
Rookie of
and
the
then the
Year and
tendons
the
grew strong
10
so he
yeah,
could throw a 110-mile-an-hour
yeah,
fastball or something?
yeah, and then there was
But,
yeah, and then there was Little Big League where
Little Big
the
League, yeah.
boy
Then he
inherits the
was
team yeah,
and he's the manager of the
becomes the
team, and
manager, yeah.
my god, there were
Um,
a bunch of
and
them.
then another one, I'm sure you've probably seen this because I think you recommended it to me, but I finally watched Rosalind Russell's Auntie Mame from 1958. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Okay, so Auntie Mame, if you don't know, she's this eccentric, free-spirited her name is
Auntie like an
Mame.
aunt, like
She's an
somebody's
aunt,
aunt or
yeah.
uncle.
She's an
Mhm.
aunt. She takes in her orphan nephew and begins to expose he's this straight-laced, like, picture of 1950s conservatism, tie and jacket from the public boarding schools and whatever not public boarding schools because that's a thing. Like, boarding school kid, but she gives him a life looking at the other side. So adventures and her social circles and teaches him to live a more authentic life rather than this buttoned up,
For the
stuffy
moment, and
that live
yeah.
in the moment. Rosalind Russell is won a Tony Award for Auntie Mame on Broadway, so she's reprising the role here. It's it was a really funny, fun little movie. I had a good time
Hmm,
with it. That
yeah.
one I would absolutely recommend to anybody who loves movies. The last two before we go on, I watched this really cheesy movie from 1983 called Carpool is it stars check out this list. Harvey
I think I know the
Korman.
cover box. I don't think
No,
I've
not
seen it,
that.
but I
It's
know the
not that
cover box.
Carpool. This is an older Carpool.
Okay.
I think are you thinking the one with Tom Arnold from the
No,
90s?
but
I don't know.
I do know
But,
what you're talking about.
but
I
this one
picture the
has
cover box for this.
this one's Harvey Korman, Peter Scolari, TK Carter, who we talked about last week,
Hey, TK.
Stephanie Pharisee, who was in like who played the mom in like Great Outdoors and Hocus Pocus,
Okay.
and the great Ernest Borgnine.
Wow.
So what it is Harvey Korman is this stuffed shirt that he runs a carpool. Peter Scolari, TK Carter, Stephanie Pharisee each pay $20 a week, and he carpools them into town. He it's this really just it's a cheesy reason to get these people all lined up.
Right.
They each have
Right.
their disparate jobs. They drop off, they go about their day. Well, they come back together, and on the drive home, something a bag falls out of an armored car,
Of course it
and it's
does.
full of money. And it's
Of course
all
it is.
about it's like simple plan. They find this money, and now there's chases. It's a heist. It's a road movie because they're chased all over. Hot on the Trail is retired detective Ernest Borgnine, so it's all over Southern
He's chasing
California.
them.
He's
He's
chasing them,
chasing them for the money that they're assuming is stolen, but it literally
but it
it was
really
an
was
accident.
accidental. Yes,
That old chestnut.
it is not a good movie. but it's fun, and it's a good way to
Right.
spend 85 minutes of your day.
I like the cast. Harvey Korman's
Yeah.
is a
I
genius,
love
so,
Harvey Korman, love
I'd
Harvey
watch
Korman,
something just for that reason.
but it's full on '80s for sure. But the last movie that I watched, and it leads into what we're talking about today, is 1944's The Princess and the Pirate, starring Bob Hope, Virginia Mayo, and Walter Brennan. Um, so Walter Brennan is a pirate. Bob Hope
Walter
is
Brennan! Like that guy?
ding 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 ding
Yeah.
ding. What did I do?
I don't know. You gotta go, Walter Brennan! Like that.
Actor. Virginia Mayo is, and they end up working together in Mistaken Identity, High Seas Adventure, Bob Hope breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the camera. It's funny, it's sweet,
Right.
and there's a joke. It's a throwaway joke where he says something like, uh, say something about his act. He said, "Oh, I used to do that when I was on the road to Bali," but and then he makes a joke about Bing Crosby. It's just this random line, and they
Uh,
just keep going. And if you
is it
don't
about Bing
know,
Crosby beating his kids? Is that what the
no,
joke is?
no,
No.
it was something
Too
about
dark.
divorce.
Too
It was
dark.
something about divorce, though. So it was
Okay.
definitely alluding
Beating
to
his
those
wife.
things. Yeah, I'm sure it was, but
Oh, Bing.
it
Hits
was
his
actually
kid. And you
pretty
think he
funny.
just goes Bing every time he popped
Oh,
one of his kids in the face?
Bing.
Bing.
Um,
That
so
sounds good.
it's a lot
I
of fun, and who doesn't love a swashbuckler?
That's very true. I speaking of the couple of things, the only other things I watched, I did finish The Big Picture, which, if you haven't seen it recently, you
I need
probably
to.
have, but
It's on my
it's
list right there.
so absolutely phenomenal. Martin Short's a genius. We've discussed all those things, but I actually just finished a movie that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I think many previous episodes ago, which is a 1980 film with John Ritter called Hero at Large.
Mhm.
Now we talked about it because
Yeah.
I remember it as a kid. And it has Bert Convy, which I didn't know he was ever an actor, but apparently he was a little bit in
A little bit.
cameos and stuff. But he has
Yeah.
a pretty substantial role in this. Bert Convy, kids of the 70s would know he
Press
hosted
your
like,
luck.
yeah, it's a bunch of game shows. But anyways, Ann Archer's in it, John Ritter's in it, a handful of other people. Basically, the gist of it is John Ritter is a struggling actor, and he gets hired to do a promotional thing for at the time, superhero movie. Well, a bunch of like 20 or 30 actors get dressed up as Captain Avenger, which is whatever the movie they're promoting, and they go at movie theaters and sign autographs, just like a Santa Claus would. But he happens to stumble into a situation where a little grocery store, a little store is getting robbed, and he, whatever reason, stands up to the robbers and kicks them out the door, and then he's a hero, but nobody knows who he is. Think that Dustin Hoffman movie, where in the 90s, it's called Hero, I think, where Dustin Hoffman is like a homeless guy and he saves burning people from a building, but he just goes back to the streets, and they all think that Andy Garcia, who's another homeless guy because he's good looking, is the one who did it.
Right.
That movie is a great statement piece on what society will accept as a hero, what they look like, but
Sure.
this
Yeah.
is not that. So anyway, so John Ritter
Mhm.
decides as a struggling actor that he's likes the way it feels, so he goes around in this costume and basically tries to stop crimes.
Alright.
Basically, there's only a
Hero.
couple. There's a lot less of that part of it than I remember, but it's mostly just a romantic comedy with him and Ann Archer,
Oh.
which, in same deal as you were bringing up, does lead into our general topic, which for Valentine's Day we had discussed what are good romantic comedies.
Yeah.
And I think specifically I had mentioned that like something like As Good as It Gets
Uh-huh.
surprised me when I saw
Right.
it,
Yeah.
because even at the time when I wouldn't have watched those movies, and I was into
Mhm.
it,
Right.
even though it's a romantic
Yeah,
comedy.
so I did look at this from a generic men's point of view. Like,
Of
I
course.
want, like, what kind of like, I wasn't gonna get into the ones
Notting
that are
Hill,
100%
Runaway
for
Bride.
women. Runaway
Yeah.
Bride. Those aren't
Hallmark in
I wanted
general.
to look at what are some what are some romantic comedies that are movies that average Joe like me would sit down and watch willingly with his wife and enjoy? Um, Dirty Dancing didn't make my list. Not
Yeah.
funny. Not funny.
No.
No, I did
No.
watch Dirty Dancing. I forgot. I watched that for the first time in my life last night.
I saw
My
your
wife
review.
finally talked me into it. It's fine. But
And why
anyways,
aren't we doing an episode on Dirty Dancing with your wife? Mel
been
needs a
trying. She
Mel
won't
has
do it. She won't do it.
Mel wants a new episode anyways coming up. We should have done that with Jennifer, your wife as well.
We
But
should.
I'll hold
She
back.
just I can't I'm trying to talk her into it. But anyways, um, thinking about this list, like, um, we all know the tragedy that happened with Rob Reiner, but he wrote maybe the perfect, rom-com, right? The one that all rom-coms are measured against today with When Harry Met
Right.
Sally.
Right.
And that one has it has equal parts for women and equal parts for men to enjoy. So it makes it a much easier watch, and it makes it a really funny watch, especially because the performances, Billy Crystal, Meg Ryan, Carrie Fisher, Bruno Kirby are all so good. And
Yeah,
who can
because
forget Rob
he gave
Reiner's
agency.
mom?
He
Yes.
gave depth to both the characters as opposed to
Yeah,
one or the other.
absolutely.
I think Hallmark movies and a lot of the ones geared towards women just make a one-dimensional male character who just happens to be the John Everyman Prince to come
Mhm.
save the day,
Yes.
or the guy who just needs to be saved, and then the lady. But then they gave depth to this character who's almost always like a Tina Fey version. They're
Right.
always a Liz Lemon. They're always a little
The
scattered.
Liz.
They're always a
Yeah.
little. Their priorities in
Yeah.
life are a little messed up. You know, all those
Mhm.
things. But
Yeah, and in this one, both Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan have real lives that they have on their own separate from each other. It's not all about their life together. It's how their lives can work together while maintaining who they are as people.
yeah,
It's
as
beautiful.
individuals,
Mhm.
fully rounded characters.
Yeah.
So essentially, one of the I shouldn't say rules, but in doing a little research, because romantic comedies, it covers a lot. There's romance in a lot of
Oh,
movies.
absolutely.
But I think the gist of what I came up with my research based on the rom-coms coming all the way from classic literature and everything else is that they're usually simple plots
Mhm.
where there's not a major,
Sure.
because if you have something like, you could say, Scott Pilgrim is
Yeah.
one, but that's not a simple story.
It's not.
That makes
It's not.
sense. So
Yeah, it's on
I
my
wouldn't
list,
count
though.
that. Honorable mention, yes. So Shaun of the Dead, so
Right,
is
so
Groundhog
same
Day,
on
but
my
there's a much larger
Yeah.
um plot
So
going on, whereas
right.
something that's more simple, like, and I like this movie, but Along Came Polly, like Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
It's listen,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Cat Philip Seymour Hoffman, yeah, God rest. Categorizing these movies as movies that are focused more on a romantic situation, but that I happen to have enjoyed. Again, that's just
Yeah.
me. Not everybody has to
Right.
like them,
Absolutely.
but there are some that are just slightly elevated above. Like, let me put it this way. Here's a really good example. I don't mean to dominate, but I do, because I always do. That's just me. I'm a wrestler. But 50 First Dates is probably the only Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore movie that I could watch. I've seen it a couple of
Yeah.
times. I
I've
don't
seen it.
hate
Yeah.
it. I don't
It's
like it. It's
alright.
not my favorite, but I don't like Wedding Singer. Do you know what I mean?
See, and I
Like, and
prefer
everybody else
Wedding
likes
Singer
the
to
Wedding
51st
Singer.
Da Yeah, I prefer I'm the other way. I'd rather watch
Yeah.
Wedding Singer, but I haven't watched either
There's
of
something
them
about
in forever, but
80s references and cameos,
yeah.
but I hold back. But in there's that version of basically the same exact material. I can enjoy that more. Does that make
Mhm.
sense? Like,
Sure.
and I think it's like that with everything. Some are just slightly elevated, or maybe just more appealing specifically to me.
Mhm.
And Along
Sure.
Came Polly, I happen to like
Yep.
Ben Stiller.
Mhm.
He has a fastidious character who's, I think, anyway, the characters are drawn out to people I can relate
Right.
to in some way. And
Sure.
very importantly, in Along Came Polly, they gave Jennifer Aniston's character some background. She was a Liz Lemon scattered person, but she's also a person who had it was the opposite. She didn't want a relationship.
She doesn't
She was
have to be the
afraid of
manic pixie
commitment.
she doesn't have to be the manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, I think her whole thing is she's afraid of committing, and they give it depth. Her dad left when she was young. They explain all these things come up, But anyways, like I'm saying, that all appealed to me more than just a
Sure.
generic meet cute situation in a grocery
Right.
store.
Yeah.
I don't
So I sat down and I came up with 30 I originally came up with 34 movies. I added a 35th just so that it would for even though 35 is not for 5 even groups. So I have 5 groups of 7. So I've
Okay.
got my
Wow.
modern relationship deconstructions. When Harry Met Sally is that
Yep.
kind of thing. And I'll go over them in just a second. Then there's the male-centric growth and bromance rom-coms.
Yeah. Like I love you, man.
That song, yeah. And then there's the
Yep. I'm with you.
crowd-pleasing rom-coms. These are the ones that maybe aren't for me, but
Love Actually.
I can watch them with my wife. Love Actually did not make this list, but Pretty Woman did. I don't like
Okay.
it, but
Yeah.
I'll sit through it. Then there's the genre blending anti rom-com. You mentioned one that I have on here. You mentioned 3 that I have on here: Scott Pilgrim, Groundhog Day, and Shaun of the Dead. And
Sean.
then I have
Yeah.
the classic screwball and adult Hollywood rom-coms.
Yeah.
So that's the category that I think interests me the most at this point in my life now.
Classic, like classic
Some Like It
movies.
Hot,
Or okay. Yeah.
His Girl Friday, Bringing
Very
Up
much.
Baby, Philadelphia Story, The Apartment, which we just talked about on our Christmas episode 6 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Roman Holiday, and Sabrina. These are all
Right.
more adult. They're all more, I don't know, well acted, well written, really good movies. Um, and I think those I like to trace back to those because without Some Like It Hot, do we get a a modern rom-com like we talked about?
No, and I think you wouldn't have When Harry Met Sally for sure if you didn't have a His Girl Friday.
His Girl Friday,
Which His Girl
which yeah,
Friday is a remake of the front
front
page. And
page.
I love the 1931 front page. The dialogue, Frank McHugh, which if you don't know, Frank McHugh is one of my favorites. He's the guy who has that exasperated laugh. That's Frank McHugh. I love him. But anyways, I love that one. But then they took it and they turned it on its head and they said, well, let's make this as a male female lead instead of 2 male leads, et cetera, et cetera. Let's focus more on the yada yada yada. And so I think that's what's great about it is the fact they added this romantic angle to it. But it's also a love
Yeah,
triangle in there
right.
because you've
Because
got
she's marrying someone else and
you know. So
mhm,
yeah, I you wouldn't have When Harry Met Sally if you didn't have these characters who both also had backstory, their
right.
own storylines, their own agency, their own points
Mhm,
of view, and also they
right.
both win. Like they
Yes.
instead of a movie where one is winning in life and losing in life, they're both kind of winning. Does that make sense? And they just end up coming together. 100%. I agree with you. Philadelphia Story's on my list too. So is When Harry Met Sally.
But back to the top, just to the beginning, for me, it starts with When Harry Met Sally, but another one that I kept coming back to when I was writing my list was one that I don't know if do you remember High Fidelity?
Of course. Love that movie.
Love High Fidelity.
Game is Jack Black.
John
Yeah.
Cusack, Jack Black when he was still Jack Black, not this
top top
mean.
top 5 records, right? Top 5
Yeah,
records.
yeah. And
Mhm.
Lisa Bonet and yeah, the top 5
Mhm.
and they do the top 5s because the whole movie is about him revisiting his top 5 breakups,
Yeah,
right, as
because
they're
he just
going
he just went he lost his current relationship. He was very much in love with this woman, and then she left him. So he goes back and talks to all these people, Catherine
to
Zeta-Jones, all these other
yeah,
people. My
figure out why.
favorite part is his girlfriend starts dating Tim Robbins, like a
Mhm.
hippie ponytail version of Tim Robbins or
Yeah.
whatever, but like a yuppie version of Tim Robbins. And there's the best line, which is, I don't know if they're neighbors or if he's just imagining it, but John Cusack's sitting there and he says, "There's no sex that sounds as amazing or is as fantastic as the one that you think your ex-girlfriend is having with their current."
Yeah,
And then it
well,
shows like a clip
yeah,
of like Tim Robbins and her like having
yeah.
this amazingly
It's like,
passionate, sweaty,
yeah,
erotic sex. And it's such a funny
yeah,
line. There is nothing as
yeah.
amazing as your ex and what they're doing with
And
somebody else.
what you think they're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then but in that same style, and this one is a little bit different because it doesn't necessarily have the happy ending, is 500 Days of Summer.
I have that one on my list too, yeah. That's a great
And that
movie, and it's
that's
actually the opposite. He doesn't get the
he
girl,
doesn't,
but
yeah,
it does what I loved, Eternal Sunshine so much for, which is it shows the
which is
highs and
also on
lows
my
of
list.
relationship.
That's
Yeah,
on my
and it's such an amazing last line in Eternal Sunshine. We've talked about it before, but it's the highs and lows. It's the romantic meet cute on day one all the way up to day
Yep,
300 where you kind of start hating each other.
right.
But what
And
like
done and out
what
of
about
order, bouncing around. I love the
yeah,
way that it's
it's
just
such a
broken up.
it's a
Such
very good movie.
Mhm.
Forgotten, like I
Yeah.
don't, everybody should definitely watch it. But what about Crazy Stupid Love?
That's on here too, but only because I needed a 7th movie because I knew you were gonna pick it. And
I
I
love that
try
movie so
not to
much.
pick what I know you're gonna pick, and because it's Fakar and Requa, I knew you were picking
You knew
it.
I would.
I knew,
I
but
like
I needed 7
I did not put Goonies on my list because I knew you would use it, right?
because no,
Just kidding.
but yeah, that one and that one is
I
added
wouldn't put that on a list.
there's an added aspect in Crazy Stupid Love. Not only is it 2
Yep,
romances happening,
a
there's
little
a
bit of a bromance.
bromance going
Mhm.
on also, and the bromance overlaps because it's also the romances with his daughter. Like, it is a for a rom-com, it is surprisingly complex in its multiple
Right.
storylines and how they
It's a
weave together very well.
Yeah, and it's a sweet movie that
Yeah.
is romantic, and I think the ending kind of suffers a little bit, but very much the same as something like Hitch. It's an
Yep.
outside concept, whereas
Mhm.
Hitch
Hitch is
Hitch a
on here also, yeah.
bromance? Because I really do like it,
Right.
but
I
there's
think
less about him
bromance
and the
is yeah, bromance is the main story, I think,
yeah,
but Will Smith and Eva Mendes do have a romance. He
right.
realizes that maybe he isn't just the matchmaker, he's also looking for a match.
So in let's quote unquote romantic comedies, there are some that fit the category so insanely well,
Right.
but I might like and they something like the movie Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that movie, and I
Yeah.
think it's because I love Ryan
I
Reynolds.
like Ryan
I'd
Reynolds too.
marry him if he would have
Unapologetic.
me, if you're out there. But anyways,
Unapologetically.
I not only want your money, but you make
Right.
me laugh. But anyways, I'd like that movie, but that is a very specific rom-com. Like there is not much more than it's basically a Hallmark movie. If you think about the
Mhm.
concept, this guy
With
goes
better
back to
humor.
his hometown and to try to show up that
That
the
I'm
girl
not
who
fat
dumped him or
anymore.
the yeah, and that I'm rich and I'm successful and stuff like that. It's the beginning of pretty much every Hallmark movie, but I like it. It's more appealing to me. The jokes hit better, and maybe this is
Yes.
strictly Ryan Reynolds. I actually don't even know who wrote it, but something very
That's
similar
on
is like Forgetting Sarah Marshall
Yeah, that's
is
what I was just about to
also
mention. Yeah.
it's a Hallmark movie. It's a movie
Mhm.
that had traditionally been done. It might have been another role where the
Yeah.
woman has been dumped and
Right.
goes off and meets some guy in Tuscany, which is
Yeah.
usually what happened,
Right.
right? But it's a
Oh,
switch.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insanely
Well,
funny.
Forgetting Sarah
Great
Marshall
movie.
would be a Hallmark movie if Jason Segel kept his pants on.
Right, that's true.
But
That
once you
scene.
drop trial, you can't be on Hallmark anymore.
That movie is
That's a great one though. I really like that movie.
you think it's
But
gonna suffer because of what's his name?
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand.
Yeah.
He's not well,
Not a fan.
we don't need to me too everybody.
Any
Um
anyways,
yeah.
but then in my the crowd pleasing ones, the generic rom-coms that are palatable Four Weddings and a Funeral. I know you haven't watched it yet, but we talked about it. It's actually for a Hugh Grant movie, I enjoyed it.
I
Um,
saw 3 Weddings, I haven't seen the 4th.
yeah, I haven't watched the 4th and the Funeral. Yeah. Um, I threw this one on here just for Mel because she loves it, Notting Hill. Um,
Yeah,
not my favorite, but one that I actually do like that is more of a traditional rom-com is Moonstruck. Cher, Nicolas Cage, um,
yeah,
directed by Norman Jewison. That one it's got all of the family dynamics. Cher and Nicolas Cage actually have a really good chemistry with each other. There's actual emotion involved in the story, so that one's a lot of fun,
yeah,
and love Olympia Dukakis because why wouldn't you?
right.
Um,
She's always be "Look who's talking to me." Um, but yeah, well, the same deal, in that same vein, you have, like, an Annie Hall, which is I think the modern version of rom-coms. I think
yeah,
it was the turning
it was
point
the one
that
yeah, it was the first.
that shifted the gears towards making an elevated romantic comedy that wasn't screwball slapstick. They've been turning out these Doris Day Rock Hudson movies, and
Yeah,
we know them, and they're
mhm,
not funny to me. They're not
no,
great. They're okay to watch. I
they're
can put on
fine.
Pillow Talk in the background and I
Sure,
can enjoy it. It's fine. But
absolutely.
I'm not gonna seek it, and I'm not gonna watch it because I want to see something that's funny. I might want to see something that's colorful, and that's not the right reason to
Yeah,
see a movie. You
right.
know what I mean?
What about
But
Jerry
good.
Maguire?
Yeah, Jerry Maguire's a great one.
And
That's
I
also
like Cameron Crowe. It's maybe one of my lesser Cameron Crowes, but I still like it. Um,
right.
that and the
No,
little kid,
that's
Jonathan
a solid
Lipnicki was a funny kid actor. Don't know what happened to him now, but,
Nikki.
um,
Um,
you
how about
and
The
you said
Goodbye Girl?
that was the next one I was about to say.
That's
I
Richard
love Neil
Dreyfuss.
Simon, Richard
I do too.
Dreyfuss, and Marsha Mason.
Yeah, that's right, that's
Yeah,
right. And the
but
little girl who's absolutely brilliant in that movie, where he moves in, he's an unemployed actor, and he moves in, um, with the lady, and her daughter, and they don't like each other, they don't wanna live together, but they don't have any other place to go, and then, of course, they fall in love over time, and it's
yeah,
got a beautiful, sweet ending to make you cry.
Quinn Cummings was her.
Yep. She's great in that. She's
Yeah.
so amazing.
But Goodbye Girl is great. Another one that then in the genre blending, what about again, back to Rob Reiner, Princess Bride?
Yeah, very
That's all
much.
about romance and
It's also, like,
comedy and
classic
love.
literature. Yeah,
Mhm. Yep.
100%.
Kind of like
Um,
classic
and
literature.
yeah, and we both love, that movie so much that
Yes.
it's and I've said this before, it's one of the movies that taught me what romance was. It's one of the because as a pivotal age in my childhood, I was watching a movie much like the Fred Savage character because
Yeah.
I think that was his age. I
We
think when I
awful
saw
close.
Princess Bride, I was the same age as
Yeah.
Fred Savage
We were very close.
playing that kid,
That
and so
probably
I am
yeah.
the kid going, "Ah, they're kissing again," but somehow I didn't mind it by the end, like,
Yeah, but oh, okay. Yeah.
shout out to Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my friend. But there's also the dark ones, like Better Off Dead,
Yeah.
a movie
Right.
that kind of seemed like it disappeared for a handful of years and has
Yeah.
really made a big
It's
comeback
making
now.
it's huge right now, yeah. Speaking of darker and John Cusack, what about Grosse Point Blank?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I love
It's a
Grosse
very good
Point
movie.
Blank.
He's an
Um,
assassin. But again, I think that's a
yeah,
heavy concept. But
yeah,
it is still a Hallmark movie. He's still just coming
sure.
home
Oh, yeah,
for one reason or another, and he's finding his old lost love,
yeah,
right? He just
and
happens to be an assassin,
he
just
happens to
like those
be.
Hallmark movies. You remember the Hallmark movie where they were assassins? I'm
Right,
just kidding.
remember that one? What about True Romance?
Yeah,
I mean, it's darker comedy, of course, but it's all
yeah.
about, um, Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette falling in
Yeah, and
love,
romantic moments. I
impulsively
don't know
getting
if I would put
married,
that
and
just
going
my
off with a
opinion, I don't know if I'd put
suitcase
that
of stolen drugs.
yeah, I don't know if I would put that in a list because I think I my list is mostly more conventional, so I have something like Can't Buy Me Love,
So
which
which
is I
ugh,
from my
such
childhood
iconic
also.
Patrick Dempsey is amazing in
So
there
and
as the
very much a
nerdy,
romantic
trying
comedy.
to be cool.
Mhm. Yeah,
Zapped.
and,
Did you watch
Zapped?
Zapped with Scott Baio and
Of
Willie
course I did.
Ames?
Yeah, heavy concept though. It's like telekinesis and stuff like that.
What about
But let
Silver
me ask you,
Linings Playbook?
yeah, that's obviously a good one. We're just calling out our list here.
No,
What
I'm
about
just
like
trying to
Doc
think.
Hollywood? Right. And
See,
the reason I bring up Doc Hollywood is, as anybody hasn't noticed, it's basically just the same exact plot line as the movie Cars, right?
it is. It's
Like
100% Cars.
verbatim.
Cars
Did they know they copied?
is Doc
Did
Hollywood.
the Cars know they were copying Doc Hollywood? Shout out to Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. You know what?
He made a lot of those rom-coms in the 80s. He was a much bigger deal.
He
Do you
was.
think a shorter actor like Michael J. Fox could successfully pull out romantic leading man? I don't know if I think our criteria is different for this next
Yeah,
generation things that they find is
right.
heartthrobs, let's call them.
Yeah, I don't know that
He doesn't sing, which I think
he
is
do
also important to some of these next generations. He
you've
doesn't
gotta
dance.
be
He
you gotta be
probably
a
would.
multi-hyphenate.
He would probably be on Dancing with the Stars if he was 30 years later. He'd be out there tapping away with fucking Gloria Gaynor, or not Gloria Gaynor. She's long dead, but like some, what's her name from Modern Family? Not Gloria Gaynor. But
Yeah, so
anyways,
yeah, and I wonder, did the people that made Doc Hollywood, did they ever sue? Did they ever reach out and say, "Hey, where's our credit?" Because it is almost beat by beat
for Doc Hollywood,
remake of that movie. But
the same
I
exact
love Doc
story.
Hollywood.
And I
Doc
like Doc
Hollywood
Hollywood. I
is
liked it when, yeah. It was in that 1990,
n
it's in that
are you there?
1990s. Um, yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
It's in that 1990s Michael J. Fox run where those movies are getting worse. They're not the same as the 80s, but they
Right.
were still pretty good. You
Sure.
know what I mean? Like that's the
Mhm.
one where he's a maitre d in the hotel. Um, and his dream is to own his own hotel.
Oh,
For love
not
or
Secret of
money?
My
For love or
Success,
money?
but it's the same
It's
Love or
for love
Money.
or money.
Yeah. And there's
I
also
like that
Secret of My
movie, but
Success.
yeah, but is it I like that movie because it's Michael J. Fox? It's like 1993. But you know
Yeah.
what movie I love and less
Hardware.
romantic comedy? I do love that movie. But
But
is Michael J. Fox in Greedy?
yeah,
Absolutely love it.
yeah.
And as a fan of the original 1925 silent film Greed, which
Right.
is based on a book called McTeague. I know this is a long
Yes,
way to
it
go
is.
for this,
McTeague.
but the family in Greedy is named the McTeague family.
McTeagues. Yeah.
Love the reference that
Yeah.
very few people would ever
Nobody
catch
got
because
Nobody got it.
nobody
I didn't
got.
even
I
get it,
didn't
and
get it
I've
at the
seen it.
time.
Yeah. I've seen them both. I've seen
Yeah,
those things. Um,
but
you know
that's a really solid one. But he made
yeah.
those movies in the 90s and stuff. He went
Mhm.
from that romantic leading,
Yeah.
you know, and then he kind of just went away, I guess, with
And
sickness, which
then
is really
there's
sad.
another romantic, Overboard.
Hmm.
As problematic as that story is today, that's a great romantic comedy from then. Um,
Absolutely,
and I still
and
like Overboard.
you buy
That's a
their love.
yeah. What about did you ever
Boomerang.
watch
What about
oh,
Boomerang?
Boomerang, bring back Eddie
I
Murphy.
mean, we pointed out a whole bunch of white people movies,
No,
but
you're
you
right
know,
with
there are movies
Boomerang,
with people of color in them too,
Boomerang
besides just Mitch.
was like that was like the last good movie that Eddie Murphy did for a while.
Yeah,
When
for quite a
he
while.
went because he went down that whole very family oriented for a bit that didn't quite work, but yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Um,
What's the Can't Buy Me Love is also they remade that um Love Don't Cost a Thing, right?
Love Don't
It's basically the exact
didn't
same plot
yeah,
line as Can't Buy Me Love, which is also just they
right,
remade that movie 1,000 times.
1,000
It's the
times, 1,000 times.
um
Did you ever see the, early '90s movie with, Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn, Bird on a Wire?
yeah.
Little
Was that
action
early 90s
comedy.
or late 80s?
It's gotta be '90s, right? I don't
Yeah,
anyways,
you're probably right. You might be right. Yeah, yeah.
but
I
that
know the movie.
oh, wow. I we couldn't both be we're both right. It's 1990, which means they filmed it in the late '80s and they released it in the early '90s. Like
It's somewhere spread in that time. Everything I filter through where I was in my life,
right.
and I'm thinking like, where did I see that?
Bird on a
Where did I see the
Wire
trailer
is
for
a
that?
I like how that one intermixes some action in there, and the
Right.
like, multiple personalities because he's the, witness protection program, and he's paranoid, so he's moved around a lot and had to do multiple different personalities and things, and that's a lot of fun. If you
Yeah,
can get
and
past
back
Mel
when,
Gibson being Mel Gibson.
and which at the time, who everybody liked Mel Gibson for a while there. I remember the last thing that I really liked Mel Gibson in was also a rom com, which was What Women Want. Right
Yeah,
now, I haven't
which
watched it again. I bet it's kind of offensive if I'm
it's
guessing, but I liked
probably
it.
Um, and you know what? I wonder if you just like movies with Helen
Yeah, very much.
As
Yeah,
Good
she's
as It
my
Gets,
absolute
that
favorites.
one, huge
Twister
fan of
Twister is
Twister,
one of my favorite romantic comedies.
and again,
What's the one she
Philip
did
Seymour
with,
Hoffman,
yeah, what's the one
Soul
she did with,
Surfer,
the kid from Some Kind of Wonderful, what's his name? Eric Stoltz,
Eric
where
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz is a paraplegic,
Oh, I don't even remember this one.
and she's
Please,
his, he's in a hospital, and
really?
she's his girlfriend who comes to comfort him, and he's all depressed and sad. I just remember it as a kid because there's a scene where she jerks him off in the hospital because he's a paraplegic and he's upset, like, it's not going to work, it's not going to work, whatever. So as a kid, that was
Is that
a
where
prominent bit to
is
me.
that
It's called the water.
I don't know that.
I can't remember, the water or something. Somebody will know. The Watership Down. That's not it. It's a really good movie. Like it's a very sweet movie about this guy overcoming paraplegic. And it's got other people in the hospital and stuff, and they teach him to be. Anyways, it's like a very vanilla version of Coming Home, with Jane Fonda
Jane
and
Fonda. Yeah.
yeah, less Vietnam, more just depression.
Just
More you
depression.
need Prozac as opposed to you need heavy therapy to get over the Viet Cong messing up your brains. You know. Anyways, as we're talking about that, how about Rushmore? Now, I've thought about Rushmore because Wes Anderson, a lot of his romance in a handful of his movies, it's that weird, awkward,
It is.
nerdy
Yes,
romance. But
for
this
sure.
one isn't. Rushmore
No,
doesn't have that. It's not the nerdy. There's a sweet element to it.
yeah,
But here's my thought
and
on it.
there's the nice, the tension between Bill Murray and Jason Schwartzman both
Hmm.
being attracted to the
Buying.
same and vying for
It's a
her
love triangle.
affections. Yeah,
But one
that's
thing
a
I
good
actually
one.
really like about it was it ends up coming out that Bill Murray and the teacher, that is the romance. And as we find out, obviously Jason Schwartzman romances with his school. It's with
Yes.
the life and what that school represents to him and the person that he is being at that school. So that's his romance is more geared, which is funny because it's a less tangible concept. It's basically a place that he's living or a place he's going to school or a place that he spends his time. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
that
clever
no,
and
that's a good
creative.
one. And then another one that I have on here that fits in that, forgetting Sarah Marshall kind of role is Knocked Up.
Yeah.
Because you got Seth Rogen and
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl where they're forced into something and
Yeah.
they have to navigate to the
I
romance.
I I had tried to think. Now you have, it's always I try to think about filmmakers, and Judd Apatow has some rom-commy elements in a lot of
Uh-huh.
his movies, but that doesn't ever seem like the focus. Seems like
Right.
it's more about life
And
struggles than
right, and
anything.
yeah, and
This is
Knocked Up, I
that's the
think is the
closest one.
closest one because 40-Year-Old
I agree.
Virgin, the romance with Catherine Keener is secondary to the bromance
His
of those guys hanging out and trying to make a man out of Steve Carell, right?
Yeah, and
That's the
just
story.
his character's growth in general on his own, not together, but his own. Much like Funny People, there's also some romance elements to it, but it's not the same. I think Knocked Up is the closest, but I also had a Kevin Smith thing, which, like, would it be Chasing Amy? Because
Yeah, I mean, Chasing
it fits it.
Amy and Jersey Girl?
Mm. We don't talk about Jersey Girl. I'm just kidding.
Or Zack and Mary.
Yeah, I thought it was Zack and Mary, which how is that I've only seen Zack and Mary once?
That's all I've seen it. I haven't watched it a
Mm.
second time.
I
What
love Kevin
about
Smith.
Richard Linklater's the Before trilogy? Before
I've never seen a
Sunrise.
single one of them.
Oh,
Are they
alright.
comedies? Oh, those are dramas, right?
They're yes, but I would call them dramedies because they do have bits of humor. But you're right,
Yeah,
they are
but
more
dramatic.
about the dramatic life, but, and then I have one on my list that I actually haven't seen, but came up numerous times
Sophie
because I love
Strauss.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's Don John.
The one where he's an AIDS patient and he's a male prostitute. Mysterious Skin.
Mysterious
That
Skin,
movie is
that's the
so
one.
romantic where he's
So
a male
no,
prostitute and he's
Don John, which was
that is a
written
dark effing movie.
that
Nobody,
is a dark
if
one.
you can't
Uh,
handle
yes.
horribly dark subject matter, don't watch
Don't watch
Mysterious Skin.
Mysterious
If
Skin.
you want to
Watch
see a
Brick instead.
beautiful performance, yeah,
Yeah, watch Brick
yeah,
instead.
or just watch
Don John
Looper and
was
have fun.
written, directed, and stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It also has Scarlett
Okay,
Johansson, Julianne Moore, Tony Danza. It's
Tony
about
Danza.
Tony Danza's back, but it's
Wait,
about, like,
he worked with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in this and Angels in the Outfield.
and Angels in the Outfield. They're best friends, didn't you know?
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't. You
apparently
don't
they
hear
did.
about Tony Danza at all, and I know he's the boss, but you don't really hear
He
much
is
about
the
him.
boss.
So
Or it was
to have him
Judith
come up
Light
twice
actually
in
the I
conversation,
think Mona was actually the boss.
yeah, maybe,
Just
or Jonathan. Um,
Jonathan. Yeah.
but
No,
it's kind of like we
did
were
you
talking
see
about
Don
Going
John?
Ape with Tony Danza.
Oh,
I did not.
didn't
I did not.
like, it
I vaguely
sounds
remember.
intriguing,
Yeah,
but I never
I
watched it.
remember it coming out. It
Yeah,
again. It sometimes it takes a lot for a movie to pull me in.
yeah.
And that one didn't. But
That one
like,
did not. It didn't do it. It didn't do it.
what else is on my list? What about
What about Bob? Not real romantic.
I was gonna say Licorice Pizza because the same deal. I
Oh,
was trying to think of
yeah,
a PT movie,
P.T.
and in
Anderson.
my head, I was thinking Punch Drunk Love, but I
Sure.
do think that it's got a very sweet
Yeah.
heart to it, but it's really about
Right,
this one guy's struggle through life,
right.
and it just happens to
Well,
coincide with him
that's like
finding
trying to find
romance.
a romantic comedy in Darren Aronofsky's filmography. I mean, what, Noah?
Yeah, or Mother,
Mother, because
movies. All I
that
think
one,
about
nothing
is
screams
love.
comedy like Mother.
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem
I
for a
mean, come
Dream
on,
does have some
it's
that that has some
it's a
black
romantic
humor in
comedy.
it.
It's people and
Dark,
heroin. It's their love
dark
affair with
humor.
heroin.
Dark humor. I
um,
did you notice the last clip in my little talking about what melodrama is, the last clip I added just for you when she's talking about the red dress? The final
I
clip of the
didn't.
video, the very last clip in that video is her telling her son about the red dress.
I think I'll have to probably rewatch it. I'm always when I watch clips on YouTube, I'm
Yeah,
always trying to pause it
I try yeah,
right before it ends, so I don't get stuck waiting for the commercials going to the next
in the
one. Does that
loop.
make sense?
Yeah.
So in a habit, I probably missed the last 5 to 10 seconds of
Yeah, so
everything I ever watch.
um, the YouTube for our show is just a normal free YouTube. Our family YouTube account is a paid account, so I don't have ads, so I don't have that
Mm.
problem.
Mhm.
But yeah, I get
Lucky.
that. I know the struggle. I know the struggle. Um,
But I've only got one more. What else you got? You got
yeah,
any others?
no, I'm going through my list here, and the only other thing I have is it's another Neil Simon, but it's more bromance than romance, and that's The Odd Couple. Just because I
Huh.
love Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, and their dynamic as the original Felix and Oscar. Um, Jack
Neil Simon is a
Klugman and
genius dialogue. So
dialogue,
yeah.
absolutely. So I have that's the only other one I really have on here, just
And
because why not?
it depends on how broad the category is. You could almost shoehorn anything into the category of a rom-com in some way,
Right.
just about.
Mhm.
I
Oh, you
think the
yeah.
purest sense of it in my mind was the She's All That or the
Yes.
um As Good as It Gets, Along Came Polly, Philadelphia Story. Like those are the ones that seem like the just friends. where it basically, if it was the same storyline that was made on Hallmark, it would make sense the same. Whereas you wouldn't have the 500 Days of Summer on Hallmark, I don't think. Although
No.
you should. Why don't they make that? And
Right,
they
why
switch the roles around.
just do a shakeup,
Uh,
yeah.
but I like
Yeah.
that Joseph Gordon-Levitt came up like 7 times in our
Yeah, because
conversations.
shout out to
Uh,
JGL.
the only other one that I actually have on my list, which is a very big one, we both grew up and it was impactful to us. I'm a huge Steve Martin fan.
Oh,
The
right.
movie 1987, right, was Roxanne,
Mhm.
which
That
Daryl
sounds
Hannah,
like the right
could
year.
take or leave sometimes. Like, obviously, Splash is also in the rom-com
Yeah,
category. It's Ron
fits,
Howard's
yep.
turning it. But Roxanne was, it was funny to me as a kid. I understood the jokes. I watch it now, and there's a lot of throwaway jokes, like I always like to say,
Yeah.
that I didn't catch, and that you probably wouldn't catch if you're not really looking, that are just brilliant. Not only things happening in the background, but Steve Martin is so fast with the quip, much
Yes.
like the source material, like Cyrano de Bergerac,
Cyrano.
you know?
Mhm. Yeah, and that, like, just you mentioned that quick and fast-paced joke after joke after joke. When he stands up in the bar and he just does that
Yeah.
stream of consciousness, all the
20
insults he's
20
heard.
jokes.
Yeah, just bing, 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 and it's just fluid and goes. Yeah, that's a fun I haven't watched that movie in so long. That's a fun movie.
It's very funny. Steve Martin is nobody else could have pulled it off
No, yeah, I don't
but
think
Steve
so.
Martin.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's a fairly forgotten movie. It's got a huge cast. I'm trying to think of what's her name, um, from Popeye, who played Olive Oil. What's her name? And from The
Um,
Shining.
yeah. Oh, she passed
She's
away
very
this
funny
year,
in it.
Shelley Duvall.
Kelly Duvall.
Shelley
She's
Duvall.
very funny in it. A couple of the people in the town are also people of note. I haven't seen it in quite a few years, but I
Mm,
loved it as a kid. And that exchange in the bar where
mhm.
he,
Yeah,
the guy is making fun of his giant nose,
right.
and he tells him he can make funnier jokes any day or whatever. And anyways, and so he has to make 20 jokes in two
In so
minutes,
many
something
minutes,
like
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so when it plays in that 2 minutes time, it's
Yeah.
very funny.
And you by mentioning uh, Steve Martin and making things work, he did another movie about 5 years later called House Sitter with Goldie
Yeah,
Hawn, where she's
that was
kind
on
of
my list
the
originally. Yeah,
and that's
I
that
like that
I
movie.
remember liking that one. It's
I
directed by
like it.
Frank Oz, and I like Frank
Yeah, I
Oz.
know. I do like Frank Oz a lot. I have a little crush, at least especially back then, on Dana Delaney. I'm
Oh,
a big
yeah,
Dana
yeah.
Delaney fan,
Speaking of
which if
speaking of
I
romantic
need to find egg.
comedies, Exit to Eden,
That's a
which I
hard movie to
watched with
find.
my parents.
That's a mistake.
That's
That's a
not
very
the
big
right
mistake.
move.
If you wanna
We
see
saw
Dan Aykroyd in all leathers.
Dan Aykroyd and Rosie O'Donnell. This should be fine for a family movie night.
A lot of
Woo!
nudity in that movie. But a good movie. I like the movie a lot. I haven't seen it since I was much younger, and it's hard to find. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
find
I don't
that.
think
But
it's not
um,
streaming everywhere.
I liked House Sitter. I thought it was funny. It was Goldie Hawn still at the overboardy kind of Goldie Hawn period of her life where she could still, I don't know, like she went on to do more, like It's Complicated and all those movies with the Alec Baldwin and all the
Yeah,
heavy cast. Like in those movies people love, so those should get note. They just don't always
right.
appeal to me so much just because
Sure.
of that.
No, at this time, she was Goldie Hawn and Meg Ryan were kind of interchangeable. They were
Yeah.
doing the Sleepless in Seattle, the
Yeah.
House Sitter, that they were kind of bouncing back and forth, that America's Sweetheart kind of a role,
You,
which
did you know Nora
there's another one,
Ephron is a
America's
Nepo?
Sweetheart.
You know Nora Ephron's a Nepo baby?
Who's her
Her
who's her
parents were
mama?
screenwriters.
Were they?
Her parents were screenwriters.
Wow.
The list is insane. One of these days, not next week, we're
Not
gonna
next
go off
week.
on a whole nepotism thing because it's crazy. The Vic
Yeah.
Morrow thing still throws me for a loop with Jennifer
Vic
Jason Leigh.
Morrow and Juliette
Vic Morrow
Lewis?
is Jennifer
Or
and
Jennifer
Jennifer
Jason Leigh,
Jason
Juliette
Leigh's.
Lewis. Yeah. Really? Um,
Anyways, I because I watched their movie. It's not Christmas in Connecticut, is it? Maybe they wrote Christmas in Connecticut. I can't remember now. But I stumbled across that movie. But anyways, in speaking of Roxanne and stuff like that,
yeah.
there are so
Desk
many of these
Set.
movies that are.
Huh.
That's what it
Desk
was.
Set is Henry Ephron.
Mhm.
Nora's
And her
dad.
mom is also
That's
somebody in the industry. Again, nepo babies. But,
yeah,
um,
that's
the,
crazy.
classic books, classic literature and stuff like that is been used so often to pull this material out, like Roxanne. Like Roxanne is, as we all know, Cyrano de Bergerac.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
Um, if you didn't read it in high school, you should check it out. It's really good. But there are a ton of those. I think we should have a discussion next week
Mhm.
about all of the great
Yeah,
classic literature materials that have been adapted or even loosely adapted. I mean, I don't want to go nuts because you can say pretty much everything is based on Greek
right.
literature and Greek mythology and stuff like that. But like
Yes.
something is a little more clearly defined, like Pygmalion has been remade
Yeah.
a dozen times and in some
Mhm.
very great ways. And
Yeah.
Phantom of the Paradise with Garrett Graham is in some of those things because it has a lot of classic literature elements that it,
It's
directly pulling
several
from.
it's like 3 or 4 pieces taken from 3 or 4 pieces
Yep.
of classic literature to create this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thought for discussion next week. What do you think?
I love that idea. I'm already
Movies,
starting to
movies,
think about that.
and films based around classic literature in some
Right.
sense of the word.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to figure out how I can make, how I can wheel in something like Bewitched. How can I make that classic literature? I'm just kidding. Um, Nora I
They
say that because I
really
pulled up Nora
what was
Ephron.
the really bad Bewitched? Did she write Bewitched?
She wrote the 2005, movie version
Oh,
with
Will
Nicole Kidman,
Ferrell
Will
and
Ferrell.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, she wrote that.
Tisk
Um,
tisk. Anywho.
but in
Anyways,
any way,
well, let's do that next week.
yeah,
Classic literature.
I love the idea of classic.
Speaking of the Odyssey, like it also fits into that
Yeah,
category.
yeah, where we started this whole conversation way back in the beginning.
Gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Classic literature because nothing says fun like a really long book.
Reading a really long, old, outdated Greek literature,
Greek literature
and
that doesn't
yeah,
make sense to us anymore.
yeah,
All right.
we'll
Anyway,
start with Sophocles. We'll end on Shakespeare. That's
yeah,
how we keep an
that's
audience.
pretty
That's
much
how we get to
that's
our eighth
that's
listener.
that's how
We
we
have
grow.
7 now.
That's how
We
we
start
grow
talking
our show.
Sophocles. We start bringing in all that
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm sure we're
Mhm.
gonna pick up another one.
Just as long as next week we focus only on Henrik Ibsen stories.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I
With
mean,
that,
Mark Twain alone. There's so many things we could pull from. I'm
oh
sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
All right. With
Close
that,
us out, my friend. Close
we're
us
going to
out.
close up shop and go about our lives for another 7 days. No, this has been Couch Critics. We thank those of you that joined us for the ride. If you have not already, please, please, please go wherever you listen to podcasts, leave a 5-star review. Tell us what you like about a show. Tell us what you don't like about the show. Tell us something. Let us know you're out there. Let us know what you would like us to
Validate
talk
us.
about. Yeah,
Validate us
just
and tell us you care.
tell
Or
us.
you
Yeah,
don't
or
care.
don't care
Just
because
reach
not
out,
caring is
follow
still
us, and don't
caring.
care. It's still
And then check
caring.
us out on the socials. We're on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, and TikTok at Real Real Talk. You can email us therealrealtalk@gmail.com and all those fun things. Yeah, hopefully we got some good we got some interviews getting lined up for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully they all come through. You'll see those as they happen.
Happy
But yeah,
Valentine's Day, everybody.
and happy Valentine's Day out there.
Not
This has
Christmas,
been
Valentine's.
not Christmas. That wasn't 48 hours ago. In 4 days, it'll be Valentine's Day. And
There
on
you
the
go.
5th day, February 15th, that's also my middle daughter's birthday. So happy birthday to her. And with
Happy
that,
birthday.
Dave, how do we close out
Say
our show?
we say you say 2 couches? No, 2 critics. 2
Two
critics,
couches,
1
one
couch.
critic,
I need my own couch, God damn it. 2 critics, 1 couch, infinite opinions.
and not a single yum yucked in the process. Thank you, everybody.
Happy Valentine's.